Hello, family. How are y'all? My name is Sharika, and I am here with Impacting Windows. I am here with another word from Adonai. If you have not already, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. You never know who may need to hear this word. And also, again, subscribe, come and join the family. We will be so happy to have you. To all of my returning subscribers, thank you so much for sticking in here with me. And I love you and I appreciate you very, very much. As usual, a quick disclaimer: I only prophesy in part, I only know in part. So please take this word back to Adonai so that he can fill in any missing spaces and any questions that you may have concerning this word. Sit at his feet. There are definitely some instructions and things that he may have for you that he did not give to me. So let's see, what else do I need to say? So I did pray before I came on here as usual. I think that may be it. So let's get into this word. So the title of this video is going to be, of this word, is going to be Take Your Royal Positions. Take your royal positions, okay? So I heard the word authority. I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't. I heard the word authority probably, it was maybe last week sometime. I heard the word authority. And I looked up the definition, and the definition of authority is the power to, oh wow. Huh. I just realized something, but authority, the power to command. And then the second definition was power assigned to another. Now, at 12:57 a.m. on the 9th of this month, I heard the word command. And I'm literally just realizing that I heard the word command on the 9th, but then days before that, I heard the word authority. So it's just all connected. So this word is not for everybody. So again, please take this back to Adonai. Know what season that you are in. Just know that this word will come around in your due season. So, but either way, take it back to Adonai if you are not sure if this word is for you or not. So, authority, you have the authority, the power to command. Adonai has assigned power to you. There are some people who are in some places who are occupying some places, some spaces that he is going to uproot them from, and he is going to send you to them. You are going to be that new person in authority, right? You're going to have the power to command, right? So again, make sure that you take this back to him, because we know that whenever it comes to having a position of authority, that's a lot of weight. That is a lot of weight. This is not a situation where you're working as a cashier at McDonald's. Like when Adonai gives you authority, when he's sitting you in these high places, these are places that will call for you to make some really big decisions, like really big decisions. And for some of you, she, me, her, I'm in that some of you category. We already have a hard time making decisions about what we want to eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We are so indecisive whenever it comes to the smallest of things. I know me, I will, for instance, I will get my hair done a certain way, and after I get it done, I'm like, I don't really like it. Or I'll go somewhere and get something to eat, and I'm like, I don't really want this. Like, it's ridiculous. My ex-husband used to, oh my gosh, he went through it because I was very, very indecisive. So with that being said, you need to sit with Adonai and really ask him to prepare you to be in a position of authority, to step into your into that place of authority to make these commands, these decisions as he has called you to. And therefore, it is important for you to ask him to help you with your decision making now on the smallest things. Help me, Abba, in the name of your son, Yeshua HaMashiach, to help me to even start with making decisions on the small things. Because again, if we can't make decisions, not just decisions, but the right decisions, and the right decisions are Yah's decisions. So you can make a decision on something, but it doesn't mean that it's right. You can make a decision that the world says is right, but then by Adonai's standards, it will be completely wrong. So pray and ask him to help you to start to make the decisions that need to be made in the way that they need to be made in, and in the timing they need to be made in. Because when you're going to places of authority, high places of authority, no matter what level it is on, but a place of authority, there are lots of times when a situation is going to be brought to you, and it's going to be like, we need an answer right now. I'm bringing you this situation. This just happened, and we need to make a decision we need you to make the decision right now. We need your answer right now. So you're not going to have a time to sleep on it. There are going to be times where it's situations where you can't sleep on it. You need to make that decision right here and right now. So take that back to him. Okay, so November of 2023, last year, Adonai is so good. He's so strategic. You have to know and understand that there are seasons and times when he will have you to study something, look up something. He'll bring something to your attention. My apologies. He'll bring something to your attention for you to study that thing, but then will not have you to really do anything with that. But then a year could go by, or 2 years can go by, and he'll bring that back to you. Or he'll bring something to you for you to study, to show yourself approved and things like that. And he'll have you to push that word out there. You know, it'll be used and formed in your life in some type of way. But then still again, a year later, 6 months later, 3-4 years later, he'll bring you back to that. I'm saying that because this is what happened with this particular part of the word that I'm going into. I studied this and came up on this November of 2023. And of course, now it's August 2024. And so let's get into it. It's concerning the number 30. The number 30 has really been highlighted a lot. And just recently, it's been highlighted again several times. And so I came across this right here. But whenever I came across it, I looked up authority. So authority was what I looked under in my phone. So I take notes in my phone, and then it has a search bar up there. I can type in a word, and it'll generate that specific word that I typed in, like Google. I say it as if y'all don't know anything about it. But I typed in authority, and it brought me back to this word. but it's also in alignment with the number 30 as well. So, which we're going to get into the number 30. So, anyways, this is what it is. What is the significance of the age 30? Is what the title was. And this is, and I Googled this, and I don't know if it was under, not Bible Hub. What was it on? I can't remember what it was under, but I did get this information from the internet because I was studying it. So anyways, the beginning. So what is the significance of the age 30? And again, this also falls under the category of authority. So this is the subcategory under that. So the beginning of a new chapter in someone's life. Yeshua was 30 when he began his ministry. David and Joseph were both 30 when they stepped into their rightful places of authority and leadership. Now, I'm not sure about any of you queens or kings, but I want to say maybe, was I 30? I want to say that like whenever I turned 30, that I felt different. I felt different. Now, she was still acting up. She was still acting up, you know what I mean? I still had issues, you know what I mean? But I felt different, you know, and some of you may be able to attest to that, you know. I'm not sure, but I felt, you know, that something was changing in me. I think it was the age 30. Don't quote me, but I think it was. So anywho, David and Joseph were both 30 when they stepped into their rightful places of authority and leadership. That's what I was going to say. So count it not strange if some of you who are getting ready, some of you who just turned 30, and you're like, dang, why do I feel like this? I feel different. You know, what is going on? Go to Abba and talk to him, because this could be a pulling, a calling you into ministry or into something, into your purpose, whatever that may be. So take that to him. So another thing, what is the significance of the age the age 30? This age requirement was a tradition in Jewish culture, signifying a person's readiness and maturity for taking on leadership roles. So again, there are many of us who are in a season and time where Abba is saying that you are now ready, you are prepared, you are mature enough to take on this leadership role. We look at the situations that we go through in our lives that are hurtful, and the things that we feel like damaged us. And I don't want to say feel like damaged us, because it damaged us, it broke us down, right? But these were the things that were developing. I'm hearing characteristic. They were developing a characteristic. Thank you, Rock Hawkers. They were developing your characteristic for this particular leadership role. And for many of us, there are going to be multiple positions and just different ways that Abba is going to be using you. But it was building your characteristic up to prepare you for the leadership roles that you are now getting ready to step into. And so the Bible says, do not despise small beginnings. Do not despise them, because whenever you are busting tables at McDonald's or at the Mexican restaurant up the street from your house, or whatever the case may be, there's preparation. There's a preparation that's being done within you while you're in that place, busting them tables and washing them dishes and things like that. There's a thing that is being done within you. There's a humbleness that is being built up within you. For some of us, we've had a spirit of pride. We've had a spirit of pride, and really for many of us, that's a spirit that was actually inherited from previous generations. And in order for you to be a true leader, and for you to operate in the way that you're supposed to, being an authoritative figure, you need to be humble. You need to be humble. So that's why Abba says, do not despise humble beginnings. It's he's doing a thing. He's doing a thing. So yes, he's prepared you. So now there's a readiness and a maturity for you to take on these leadership roles. So another thing is the spiritual lessons, and the number 30 is now the subtitle that we're under: spiritual lessons and the number 30. So the spiritual lessons concerning the age 30 is patience and preparation. You have to be able to be patient as an authority figure. There was a preparation that was done and is now finished. And so, therefore, he's telling you, letting you know that it is time for you to step into your royal positions. And also redemption and restoration. Abba is going to redeem people. He can and will, for some, whoever's called to nations, there are nations that will be redeemed through you. Abba is going to redeem nations, people, nations, so many relationships. He's going to redeem them through you. You are his chosen, his called and chosen vessel. Many are called, but few are chosen. But he is going to use you as his vessel to do these things. So that's why the preparation was so necessary. Patience, having patience is so very necessary, because whenever you are going into these high places of authority, your patience is going to be tested. But it's going to be okay for you, because you're like, oh yeah, I've been prepared for this already. Adonai has been allowing people to test my patience for the last 15 years, or whatever. I've been working at this job and they was testing my patience every day there while I was there for the last 5-6 years. And I can say that I have grown in that area, so whenever you get to that higher place, that royal position, you good. Nobody can say anything about the rude and disrespectful way that you acted to them testing your patience. They're not going to be able to say, what is that scripture? Make sure you can give an account. No, that's not the one. Make sure you can give an account to anyone who asks you why you serve the Adonai. That was coming to me just now. You want to make sure that no one is able to say, oh, or he or she supposed to be all into Yahuwah, saying that they are a believer. But did you see the way that she reacted? Did you hear her in their gossiping? Did you see and hear how he just went off on one of the leaders, not one of the leaders, but one of the people in the church, or in the corporation, when we was in that boardroom meeting? Did you see how he reacted? Like, we can't, we're light. We're light, so we can't go in there being rude and disrespectful. This is what I'm trying to say. But there will be a redemption and a restoration that Adonai is going to do for others through you, because he's been working on you, redeeming you. And as long as we're here in this earth, Abba's always going to be teaching us, and he's going to be transforming us for the different seasons and seasons we're going into in the areas that he's calling us to. But there's going to be redemption and restoration that's going to be done as you step into these into your royal positions. And number 3, timing matters. As we just, I read and you listened, David and Joseph were both 30 whenever they stepped into their rightful places. David had already been told he was a little shepherd boy working out there with the sheep, protecting them from the lions and all of that stuff. Like, when he was doing that, Samuel came and anointed him and let him know that he was going to be the next king, that he was going to, glory, hallelujah. I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about that. He was anointed to be king next. Saul was in the royal position, right? Because Samuel had anointed Saul to be king, and he was king, and he was doing good for a minute, but then he got beside himself because he got full of himself. And so David was anointed to take over the royal position of Saul. You are anointed to take over the royal position of somebody or some people that are sitting in some high places that has gotten beside themselves. They have thought of themselves higher than they ought to. They have raised up and built up statues and things like that, monuments of themselves. And they may not be physical monuments and statues, but they've done it amongst the congregation. A Lucifer situation to where the applause and stuff, it's going up to Adonai, but that person behind the pulpit is accepting the glory like it belongs to them. No. So even though David was anointed and had been knowing since he was a little boy, he did not step into that royal position until he was 30. There are many of you that have been knowing, that you've been having a knowing by way of the Ruach HaKodesh of who you truly are, your true anointing. But yet you've been working in that elderly home, wiping people's behinds and feeding people and doing whatever it is you have to do, doing a lot of the work on your own whenever people are not helping you at all. Whatever it may have been. And the same thing with Joseph. Joseph had a dream about his brothers and his dad bowing down to him. His dad, his mom, all of them bowing down to him. This was way before he ever stepped into his royal position. This was before he was thrown into the pit by his brothers. Adonai told him, he forewarned him. And it reminds me of Jeremiah 33 and 3. Call unto me, and I will tell you great and mighty things. Call unto me, and I will answer. I will tell you great and mighty things in which you do not know. These great secrets, things that are to come. So he tells you these things, but they come forth at an appointed time. That way he can prepare you, but then he's telling you so that you can come and sit at his feet and say, okay, this is what you're showing me. What do I need to do? First of all, is this a rhema word? Is this something that you're saying that's going to happen now? If not, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to step into it, to do that thing, to go to that place? Or if this is for an appointed time in the future, what is it that I need to do? What are you calling me to do? You're revealing this to me for a reason. What is it? What do I need to work on? And then Yeshua, and he's Yeshua. He is Yah in flesh. He is a part of the Trinity. So when he was a kid, his mom and dad, they done left, was it where did they go back to Bethlehem? Because there was a census or something that had to be done or something. But they left, and they didn't got halfway home and realized that their son, Yeshua, was not amongst the crowd, the travelers. So they didn't have to go back to get him. And where did they find him at? In the synagogues, preaching, being about his father's business. And whenever Mary and Joseph had got to him, and they like, why would you do this to us? And what he say, you know, I got to be about my father's business. So he could have, he could have started preaching right then and there. He could have started his ministry. It's not like he didn't qualify for it already. But the timing, it's about the timing. So Yah is not just saying that it's about timing only with us humans. No, it's about timing with him too. Because he sees the things that we do not see, right? Even whenever it comes to us coming out of darkness and we're stepping into the light, and now we want our family, we want our friends, we want other people to see this light too, but they're having a difficult time seeing it. It may not be their time yet to come out of that darkness. There may be some things that Adonai is wanting them to go through, not to harm them, but so that it can be a part of their testimony so that he can get more glory. It's the same with the man that was blind and he was healed, and the people were asking, so Yeshua, who sinned him? Who sinned, his mother or his father, because he's blind? And like Yeshua said, neither did. It's not about that. This was so that my father could get the glory, honor, and praises, so that he could get the glory out of this situation. Yeshua could have came whenever the boy was freshly out of the womb and cured him and healed their blindness. But it was about the opportune time. And if you haven't read that story, go back and read it. Because whenever he did finally heal him, excuse me, I just ate some nachos that I should not have eaten at all. I'm so regretting it. But anyways, real and raw. I'm not editing this. Real and raw over here. Just saying. Love you. So anyways, so the crowd that was there to see this healing, the crowd that was there to take in this miraculous situation were the ones who needed to be there to see it. Because these are people who possibly were unbelievers. But because now they saw this miracle, now that mustard seed of faith, because all we need is faith the size of a mustard seed. Now that little bit has now formed within them, or they have given birth to it. So now they have faith for their situations. So it's all about timing. It's all about timing. The fourth thing is, on the spiritual lessons, is fulfillment. There are things that are to be fulfilled. It's tying into timing. There are things that need to be fulfilled, but there is a timing for it to be fulfilled. And at the age of 30, the preparation, the maturing, the readiness for that person, it has been fulfilled. There's been a fulfillment in that. And so now it is time for you to step out into that ministry. It is time for you to step into that marriage. It is time for you to now finally go back and start speaking to those people that you were speaking to 6 months ago, 3 days ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, who are not receiving what it was that you were saying, but it was because it was out of timing. It was not time for that thing to be fulfilled, but now it is. And on August the 6th at 9:45, I heard fulfill the prophecy. That's what was going on in all three of these situations with Yeshua, David, and Joseph. The prophecy was given to them. The prophecy was shown to them. It was they knew about it way before it even happened. And now it was time, when they turned 30, it was time for the prophecy to be fulfilled. There are prophecies that has been spoken over your lives. There are dreams, prophetic dreams that you have had, that Yahweh has given you. Some of you have visions, and some of you can either hear Abba's audible voice, or you can hear the messengers, his messengers coming to you and speaking to you. Either way, there is a prophecy that has been spoken, that has been written, that has been seen through vision, whatever, and now it's time for that to be fulfilled. And then number 5, it is surrender. Surrendering is so very important. It's time for you to make sure that you are surrendering 100%, because you being in this place of authority, there's no way that you can be in this place of authority and operate in the way that Abba is calling you to without him. You have to surrender. And that's why maybe a lot of these people are being uprooted from their royal positions, because maybe at one point in time they were submitted. They had surrendered. But now, because they've gotten beside themselves, they smelling themselves, they're thinking of themselves higher than they ought to. They have resubmitted to themselves and have become their own God, or have let celebrities be their gods. They have these idols, and money as an idol. They want the glory for themselves. Now Abba is saying, you know what? You, sir, king, you, queen, you have a heart that is surrendered to him. And it's beautiful. It's a sweet aroma to him. And he's saying, you know what? You're the one. I'm sending you to that place. Because, see, I know that you are surrendered to me, and you're going to get in there and you're going to do exactly what it is that I'm calling you to do, and not what your flesh is calling you to do, and not what other people's calling you to do, but what I am calling you to do. Okay, and this is still under the main category of authority, so we're still talking about authority. So on August the 9th at 1:03 a.m., I heard earthen vessel. Earthen vessel. Now, the number 30 in Greek means a vessel. Yeah. The number 30 in Greek means a vessel. And whenever I already knew that 30 meant a vessel. But then again, in the spirit, I end up hearing earthen vessel. You are the earthen vessel. And for many of you who have been seeing the number 30, if you've been seeing the number 30, then this message may be for you. Again, take it back to Adonai. But if you've been seeing 30 in different ways, or whatever the case may be, this message definitely may be for you. Take it back to him. But he's saying that you are the earthen vessel that he has called, that he has chosen to use for his special purposes, as far as having authority and stepping into this great royal position, or even positions, because it's an S on the end of positions. He said, take your royal positions. So, again, take that back to Adonai. And now, what's this? July 27th of this year. I kept seeing the number 1203. I kept seeing 1203. And a lot of times I was looking at it like 123. But I wrote this, I went to see what 1203 meant. And I'm going to read it to you. So in Greek, it says Lord, Master, or Prince. Properly, get this, an authority figure who exercises complete jurisdiction. Implies someone exercising, and this part is in quotes, unrestricted power and absolute dominion, confessing no limitations or restraints. Unrestricted power. And what did we say that authority meant? The power to command. Power assigned to another. And this was I wrote this way on July 27th. And we are what? August 10th? So that's what I'm saying. Like, Adonai will show us things ahead of time. And we take it to him. We sit on it. And then he'll be like, okay, now it's time. When I said this connects with this word over here. And it's just beautiful the way that he ties things in together. Like, it's so beautiful. So, where he is sending you to be, and I'm hearing ambassador, which we're coming up on that. We're going to talk about ambassador, but I'm hearing ambassador. But where you're going to have unrestricted power, absolute domination. There will be no limitations. There will be no restraints. Complete dominion. And it's not that it's you that's exercising this power. I mean, it is, but it's the one that's in you. And that's the thing. So whenever people get this, when a lot of people step into these royal positions, they can't handle the power. It's too much for them, because then again, they get beside themselves. They look at it like, I have the power. It's my power. And people are basically bending, bowing, and doing whatever at my command. And they love it. They love it. We know the only one that has complete domination and unrestricted power, no limitations, no restraints, that's Adonai. That's his son. That's his Ruach HaKodesh. But he's saying that he can trust you because you have surrendered. You are chosen. He knows that he can trust you with this assignment, with this authority, with this royal position. And August 5th at 4:30 a.m., I heard authority again. I wonder if this... You know what? Yep. August the 5th at 4:30 a.m. That's whenever I originally heard authority, right? So he is so serious about this. You taking this royal position, stepping into your royal positions. He is so serious about this. So that's why you need to make sure that you go to him and sit at his feet and see what instructions that he has for you. Okay. And then we have and then I heard dispossess. And this was maybe around August 5th, 6th, something. I'm not sure, but it was recently. I heard dispossess. So I went to Google to look it up. And it means to deprive another of the possession or occupancy of something such as real property. To disseize, to eject is what it's saying. And then sometimes it'll give you a sentence for that word. And the sentence is to dispossess a king of his crown. Adonai is sending you to this royal position yes, he's sending you to your possession. So that there was nothing that was wrong about that. That was all the way right. He's sending you to your royal possession. Somebody's occupying it right now, but he's sending you to that possession. He's sending you to that position or positions so that you can occupy it. You are getting ready to take someone's crown, and that crown is now going to be placed up on your head. And this all actually is in alignment and in sync with Joshua 6:16, whenever Joshua led the children over to Jericho. Thank you, Bangladesh. To Jericho, so that the walls can come down. Walk around the wall, so that those walls can come down. Now, the second definition says to deprive someone of the possession of land, especially by evicting them. And with Joshua 6:16, there were the people that were there in Jericho. Those that were there in Jericho occupied the land that Adonai promised the Israelites. And so they couldn't just be on some, he promised us this land, so therefore we don't have to do anything. We can just sit here and just chill, and it's just going to come to us. No. Abba told Joshua, send some of these men to go and spy out the land. Now, I've been seeing the word spy on license plates back to back to back. Almost every day, I see the word spy on a license plate. I don't know if you see them or not, or if you've been hearing the word spy, or maybe you've seen spy on commercials. I don't know. But there's a place that Adonai is calling you to go and spy out. And not just any place. This is the place where your royal position is at. This is the place where your possession, your royal possession is at. And it's time for you to go and spy it out. As you go spy it out, looking around and seeing what's going on, maybe asking some questions or whatever the case may be, just seeing what's going on over there. How many of them is in this place? Are they strong warriors? Are we going to have to are we going to have to train some more? What do we need to do? What do we need to know so that whenever it's time for us to come and take our royal positions, our royal possessions, that we will be 100% prepared for this? But I was saying that you are prepared. Or if there's some other instructions, he's wanting to give you those instructions so that whenever you do finally take that position, that you have the instructions and that you are doing them as he has called you to. So even though they already knew that the land that it was theirs, they still had instructions. Abba still gave Joshua instructions. Joshua gave the children of Yasharel instructions that they had to follow so that they could successfully take their royal possession, their land. And that's why it's important for you to go to Adonai and ask him, what are the instructions that you have for me? And I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. But they are being evicted. They're being evicted from that land. There's a house that belongs to you. And there are other occupants that are living there right now. I was saying, go spy out the land. Yeah, that big house over there on the corner. Yeah, that's you. There's some people that's living there right now, but no worries. They getting ready to be evicted up out of there. That position and that company, that high position, the CEO, yeah, he ain't acting right. That position is gonna be yours. I want you to spy out the land. Don't quit. Don't quit. I know you're getting tired. You feel like you've been overlooked and things like that. They don't value you. They don't appreciate you at that company. They don't appreciate you in that relationship. Whatever it is, Adonai said, no worries. Just you do what I tell you to do. You follow these instructions. Come to me. Let me give you these instructions. You follow them, and I promise you, it's yours. It's yours. But you have to follow the instructions. On August the 8th at 8:30, I heard eviction. And what did we just hear? And what did I just read? To deprive someone of the possession of land, especially by evicting them. The way that Adonai ties things in together is just amazing to me. It's just amazing. So they're getting evicted, and you are taking that royal position. At 3:53, I heard diplomat. And the definition for diplomat, it says, one, such as an ambassador who has been appointed to represent a government in its relations with other governments. One who uses skill and tact in dealing with others. So Friday, I was leaving my daughter's job, and I was behind. I saw a car up ahead of me, and I was like, does that say ambassador? And I'm like, no, I can't say ambassador because it doesn't look like it has all of the letters in the word. And I'm just like, oh, but I still had that in my mind, right? This was on Friday. So then Saturday, today is Saturday. So no, was that Friday? Oh, yep. So that was Friday. So now last night, because I'm out of town right now, so I get to where I am, and I was doing some studying, and I heard diplomat, told you, and when I looked up the definition, I was shocked, because I'm like, one such as an ambassador, I'm like, oh my goodness. Yesterday, on the back of that license plate, and this was in Texas, because I live in Texas, so this was in Texas that I saw this. But I'm like, no, maybe they didn't say ambassador. No, maybe I'm just tripping. But no, that's what that was. Because now here I am all the way in a whole nother other state. And I'm researching and like, oh my goodness, ambassador. So you will act as an ambassador, right? You have been appointed, right, as an ambassador to represent a government. This is not, our home is not here, right? We know that. Our true citizenship is in heaven. You have been called to represent that government, not this government here in earth. You have been called to represent the government of heaven in its relations with other governments. So you have been called to represent the heavenly government, the government of heaven, right? In its relationship with other governments that are here in this earth. And the governments can also mean people as well. You are the one that's standing in that gap. You are that earthen vessel that Adonai is using to come into relationship with so many people and even nations and governments and all of that. He's doing something that is so big, that is so mind-blowing. It has reminded me of a scripture. I am doing something in your time that if you were not told, you would not even believe it. I don't know where that's at, but it's somewhere in the Bible. Go look it up. But yeah, that's what's coming to me as I'm reading that. One who uses skill and tact in dealing with other. Though the skills that you have are skills that were built up over time. This was not an overnight thing. Whenever people see you in your royal positions, they're going to be like, dang, I just saw you working at Whataburger. Now you the CEO of a $5.4 billion company, establishment. And to them, it's like it happened overnight. But they don't know that what was going on in the trenches, what was going on behind closed doors. Before that curtain came open and it was closed, they don't know what was going on behind those curtains. How Abba was dealing with you, how he was allowing the enemy, Job, to come up on you in so many ways. And now, Job, because you prayed for your friends, because you stayed down, right? Because you stayed down, he is blessing you with even more than what you had. You lost some things walking with Abba, calling on his name, standing tall and strong for him. Not perfect, like I heard one of my sisters say earlier, not perfect, but you got back up each time, right? And you didn't stay there in darkness. You didn't stay in disobedience. You lost some things, but guess what? Because you stayed down, because you prayed for the naysayers and things like that, I'm going to bless you with even more than what you had. It says, and tact in dealing with others. That's why when it comes to the patience, you have to have patience. There's a certain skill requirement that it takes for these royal positions to have this level of authority. Because there's some people that just don't know how to deal with people, and it's not you shouldn't have to deal with anybody, but if anything, people don't know how to just communicate in a positive way, to help people, to be that light. And not knowing is one thing, but then not trying to get that knowledge is a totally different thing, because the knowledge is here. It's here. He's willing to give it. So a lot of them just don't want to be patient. What am I doing? Oh. A lot of them don't want patience. A lot of them don't care about timing. A lot of them don't care about Yah's children really being restored. And maybe a lot of them started off caring, but again, they got beside themselves, started smelling themselves. And now it's about them, and it's not about the government, Yah's kingdom. It's about the government, self. It's about government, people around them that's lacing their hands with money, paying them off to make these important decisions that's supposed to bring redemption and restoration to Yah's people. They're supposed to be making these decisions and doing the right thing so that the prophecies can be fulfilled, but they didn't got beside themselves. Exit left stage, right? And you enter over here, the right, because you're the right one, right? Okay. And at 4:37, and this is still on August 8th, at 4:37, I heard impactful. The definition is having a significant or powerful effect. because he has prepared you, because you have allowed him to prepare you, because you have allowed him to prune you, to stretch you, to uproot things that needed to be uprooted. And this is people, this is places, drugs, alcohol, sexual sin, like whatever. Because you have allowed this to happen, for him to do these things, you're going to be so impactful that there's going to be a significant, a powerful effect on people. People are coming out of darkness. Demons are going to be casted out of people. Like, your power and authority is going to be mind-blowing. That's why I'm saying, don't despise the small beginnings. Like Adonai said, these things had to happen. You had to be attacked by demons so that you can build up a fight could be built up in you, so that you can be taught how to slay a demon. That demon had to come up. If the demon never came up against you, how would you know how to effectively fight against this demon, or any demon for that matter? How would you know how to effectively pray against that demon? How to go into the spirit and do spiritual warfare against these demonic spirits? If your son, if your daughter, if that family member of yours was never attacked by that demon, if they never had that drug issue, if they was never out there living on the streets as a prostitute, if they were not out there begging, borrowing, thieving, murdering, slandering, whatever, how would you know how to fight against that thing? You wouldn't. And somewhere in scripture, it also says that Adonai allows the battles to come up against us to prepare us. If he had not allowed these battles to come up against us, we would not be able to be the skilled demon slayers that we are now. And this is just now. Like, the more we walk with him, the better we become, the more effective we become at slaying these demons. And that's why you have to truly understand the level. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I should not have eaten that. But again, I'm not editing it. All right? Real and raw. Real and raw. Either you love me or you don't. What Mary J. Blige say? Take me as I am. Take me as I am. Just saying. Love you. So where was we at, Holy Spirit? But you are going to be so very impactful. And if Adonai had not allowed these spirits to come up on you, then you would not be the skilled fighter that you are. The more we walk with him, the more. Thank you, Ruach HaKodesh. Thank you. That's why it's so important for you to know your true identity, and to know and understand and walk in, talk in your true power and authority. The enemy walks around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Like, it didn't say he is a roaring lion. He walks around like he's a roaring lion, because he ain't even that. The true lion, king of Judah, Yeshua, he tries to imitate, but it don't work. If it's been working, we need to do some prayer, because we need to understand that he ain't big and bad like that. Actually, he's fearful of you. He's fearful of you, me, us, stepping into our true identity. Because if you was to truly understand your true power and authority and step into that thing, talking about dominion, because Abba already told us to have dominion over the fish, over the sea, over the land, over the animals, over all of these things. That includes the demons. That includes Satan. We have the power and authority to trample on the serpents and the scorpions. All of it. By no means will we be hurt at all. The weapons will form, but they will not prosper. We got to read that whole thing, because a lot of times we just read the weapons will form. And we panicking and we tripping and oh my, I don't know how I'm gonna pay these bills. I'm finna be evicted. I can't pay my car note and my baby need Pampers and this marriage is going on. I don't know what. The weapons will form, but there's a but. It will not prosper. It will not succeed. So you're going to be very impactful in this place of authority. At 442, I heard unexpected, and then I heard details. So again, take this back to Abba, because whatever the unexpected is, you want to make sure that you're in alignment with him so he can tell you what this unexpected thing is. I don't know. He'll give you details. Go to him and ask for details, instructions. At 445, I heard Exodus. Exodus, and we know Exodus means to exit. It is time for them to exit, and it is time for you to enter these royal positions. At 450, I heard instructions, and then I heard apply them to you. He's given you instructions. He's going to give you instructions, and you need to make sure that you apply them to your situation, to you. It's like with the children of Yasharel, whenever Joshua was leading them, there were instructions that were given to them about how to take their royal positions, how to go and take their possessions. It's time for you to apply these instructions to you. And again, to have more specifics, take it back to Adonai. 508. At 508, I heard study hall. We have to study to show ourselves approved. So you go and sit in that classroom with Adonai. So maybe that's your closet, wherever that secret place is, that place of meetings that you have with him. You need to sit and you need to study. Because as he's giving you the instructions, he's going to give you the instructions as you're sitting in study hall. And then you are to apply them to you, but you got to study so that you can see, okay, this is how I need to apply. He's telling me to do it like this. Okay, so what does that mean in this area right here? So that means I'm going to have to no longer go to this place. Instead, I'm going to have to start going over here. I'm no longer going to be able to hang around these people. But for some reason, it seems like I'm really drawn to these people over here. You study to show yourselves approved. So even when he gives you the instructions, right? Study those instructions. And you know, the thing about it is this whole word was really built up on Joshua 6:16. Whenever Joshua led the children of Yasharel over to Jericho, and they walked around that wall for 6 days. They walked around one time each day. Then on the 7th day, they walked around 7 times. The trumpets blew, and then they shouted, and the walls came down. These were specific instructions, very specific. They had to follow these instructions to the T, to the letter. I's dotted, T's crossed. They could not deviate from those instructions, not one iota, not one little bit. It had to be very specific as to what Adonai had instructed Joshua to instruct them to do. Let's just say for 5 days, they walked around one time. But on the 6th day, they like, you know what? I think if we just do it like an extra time on the 6th day instead of one time, let's just do it 2 times, because I don't know, maybe, excuse me, I don't know, maybe I'll have a greater victory or something. And they did that. That would have, on that 7th day, then when they decided to go back to the instructions and walk around 7 times, blow the trumpet, then shout, that wall was not going to come down. And for a lot of us, that's why a lot of walls in our lives are still up, because we have deviated from the plan. We have stepped away from the plan this much, but this much in Adonai's eyes, whenever you're deviating from his plans, can be like this much. And that's why a lot of walls are still up in our lives. It's time to go back to the instructions completely. Maybe there's a consecration that needs to go on. Maybe you need to fast. I don't know. Again, take it back to Adonai. But this whole word was really built up on Joshua 6:16, because Joshua, he was that leader. He was under Moses, and Moses was not a bad guy. You know, whatever his time came for him to pass away, you know what I mean? He was called out of this earth. And Joshua was the one that was being prepped to take the leadership role once Moses had passed on. So I saw the number 616 whenever I was watching a YouTube commercial. Then I saw a word about the Jericho walls on YouTube, and the girl's video, I was trying to look for it so that I could get the whole title and everything, because what I don't like to do and would never do is hear somebody else's word and try and take it as my own. If anything, Adonai will lead me to a word, and it'll just confirm a word that he has already told me about. That's it. But even in that, I like to say, hey, I got the confirmation from such and such, da-da-da. So, about the Jericho walls, because this is the authority, Jericho wall, the command, you know, all of this ties together. But her name is Deja. Very pretty girl. I think right now she has black braids in her hair. I don't know, but her name is Deja. Very, very, very sweet. So now let's get into 6:16. So Joshua, well, let's do Jeremiah first, because I'm hearing Jeremiah, and I was actually shocked whenever I heard Jeremiah the other day, because I'm like, but it's not Jeremiah, it's Joshua 6:16. But watch your mouth, Sharika, because Adonai knows what he's talking about. Oh, wrong page. Okay. All right, so this is Jeremiah 6:16, chapter 6, verse 16. It says, Yet the Adon please with you still. Ask where the good road is, the godly paths you used to walk in the days of long ago. Travel there, and you will find rest for your souls. But you reply, no, that is not the road we want. So there are people that are in the royal position who I was like, yeah, I'm going to need you to ask me about what decisions you need to be making, what your answer needs to be whenever these people are coming to you. Because I called you. You didn't call you. But their reply is, no, that is not the road we want. So now I was like, oh, you sure right. You sure right. Because see, I know some people who are going to be happy to sit at my feet and say, What decision do you want me to make? Put your desires in my, I don't want my desires. I'm asking for your desires. Put your desires in my heart. So that way, as I'm praying and asking you for the desires of my heart, you're really blessing me with the desires of your heart. Always, always ask, what path do you want me to walk? What are the paths that those who came before me and who worshiped you, who were chosen, and you delighted in them because they delighted in you? What paths did they take that now you're calling me to take? There are instructions that Adonai has for you. And you make sure that you go to him, you seek him. And you make sure that you do not forget about him. We have to make sure that we do not forget about him whenever we get into these royal positions. And again, this can be business. This can be marriage. This can be ministry. It can be just different things. But we have to make sure that we do not forget about him. On the recording time, it's 1 hour and 11 minutes. 111. Alignment. We have to stay in alignment with him. It's very, very important. We have to stay in alignment with him. Okay, and so now Joshua 6:16, chapter 6, verse 16, it says, the seventh time as the priest blew a loud, the seventh time as the priest blew a long, loud trumpet blast, Joshua yelled to the people, shout, the Adonai has given us the city. And I was thinking about this earlier. I'm like, well, Abba, you didn't even highlight chapter 6, like the whole chapter 6. You highlighted 6:16. You highlighted verse 16. And in verse 16, Joshua says, shout, the Adonai has given us the city. He has given it to you. It's yours. There's no debating about it. Nobody can come along and take it away. The enemy would try to intimidate you and make it seem like, oh, well, you remember that thing that you did last week, though? Yeah, well, I want to let you know that that's not what somebody in true leadership does. What do you think that your God is going to still give you this position? Guess what? He's already lined up somebody else, because you know what? You're not worthy. Lies. 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 It's yours. It's time to shout. And this is one of the instructions. It's time to shout, because the Adon has given us the city. It's time to shout. Woo! It's time to shout. The walls shout, because now the walls are coming down. All you got to do is shout. Hear that trumpet blast, because that was the, once that trumpet blasts, then you shout. Because it was told that each day that you walk around, for 6 days, walk around one time, but you make no noise at all. No noise. You are to be silent and just walk around once a day. And then they went back to camp, and then they did this for 6 days. But on the seventh day, seven meaning completion, the trumpet blasts loudly. They blew it, and then they shouted, and the walls came down. It's time for you to shout, because now your walls are coming down, but it's only going to come down when you shout. Do you hear? Shout. Woo! Shout. I'm trying not to be loud because I'm in a hotel, but shout. your walls have come down. And it's time for you to take that royal position, because once those walls came down, even though the people that was inside of the Jericho walls, they was shut up. And it says that in Jeremiah and in Joshua. They were shut up in there. Why? It says, and I quote, chapter 6, verse 1. The gates of Jericho were kept tightly shut because the people were afraid of the Israelis. No one was allowed to go in or out. Sis, bruh, king, queen, Satan is terrified of you. Satan is terrified of the real you. The you that truly stands tall, speaks, walks, and is in the one who walks in their true power and authority. He's terrified of that version of you. He's terrified of that version of you. So don't get it twisted. Don't. He's trying to intimidate you so that you will not truly believe who it is that Adonai has already said that you are. So that you would not believe that it's time for those walls to finally come down. It's time for your walls to come down. Shout. Oh. So at the hotel that I'm at, I was originally supposed to be on a lower level of this hotel. But whenever I got here and I checked in, the lady said, oh, Miss Owens, they upgraded you. I'm like, what? Yeah, they upgraded you. And like, I have a view of, I can see the pool area and I can see the beach from my balcony out here. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So now as I'm on my way, first of all, she tells me, oh, you're on the 6th floor. And as I was writing this down, 6th floor, I heard number of man. 6 is the number of man. That can be important for somebody. 6 is the number of man. Abba is calling you. And in those times, whenever Abba would say the sons, you would hear people say like the sons of Yah, or he, oh, great example. Thank you. Because I'm like, I don't want to misquote, and I sure don't want to be saying something that I think is what it is and not. And yeah. Yah created man in the likeness and image of him, his son, and his Ruach HaKodesh. Man. He's saying man, but he's meaning people, man and woman. Because then we have to understand that woman came from man. And the word woman is man, because we came from man, right? So man, man and woman, it is time for you to take your royal position. It's time for you to shout. Because now those walls are finally coming down. And also, as I was walking up the hallway to get to my room, you know, at the hotels, it'll tell you, you're looking for a room such and such and such and such, go to the left. If you're looking for the room such and such and such, go to the right. I was supposed to go to the left, so I went to the left, and I'm just walking, whatever I'm walking. And then I happened to look up, and lo and behold, I mean, this is not my room number, but I was still going to my room number. Lo and behold, I see 616, the room 616 staring me right in my face. Like, the room 616 is literally a few doors down from me. And it just confirmed this word that I was to bring to y'all. And Jeremiah and Joshua. Jeremiah was someone who was called to be a leader. You know, he may not have been in government or whatever, but he was chosen to represent the government of heaven, as was Joshua. Men in leadership, it's time to take your royal position. You are a leader. There's a great authority that Adonai said is yours. But he is the authority that is working in and through you. So we know that it's not us, it's him. So then I heard it's time to take your rightful positions. On the 9th of August at 12:50 a.m., I heard leadership roles. Leadership roles. There are leadership roles out here that are being dispensed, that are being given out, and your name is on that list. There's a list of people who are stepping into these leadership roles. And then next to your name is the royal position, the rightful positions, the leadership roles that you're going to be stepping into. At 12:52 a.m., I heard Joshua. So I looked up Joshua's name to see what it meant. And it means Yahweh is salvation. Once again, Abba is going to work through you, through us, so that other people who are out here in the darkness, who are still very much in this world and of this world, so that they can receive their salvation. No man, no woman left behind. Period. Period. No man, no woman, no brother, no sister in Yah, in Yeshua, will be left behind. That's not how we do it. That's why it's so detrimental. It is so important for us to submit and commit to Adonai. Because I don't care if it's only 2 people called to your, that's connected to your purpose. Thank you, Ruach HaKodesh. That's connected to your purpose. Still, nobody left behind. Nobody left behind. And then it gave me a little bit more information, or I guess like it was telling about Joshua's leadership. So it says, after Moses died, Joshua succeeded him as leader of the Israelites, and he led the conquest of Canaan. We were just talking about that. Joshua, Jeremiah, they were leaders. Moses, a leader. Abraham, a leader. Paul, a leader. Now we saw how Paul, formerly Saul, was rocking. Abba checked him real quick. Glory, hallelujah to Adonai when he checks us real quick. If he does not correct you, you are not his son, you are not his daughter. So we give him all the glory, honor, and praises when he chastises us. Because we know that he is working out everything for our good, for those who love his son and are called according to his purposes, his will, not our own. Okay. 12:51 a.m. I heard command, and we already talked about command. I also heard today, as I was looking this over, when I read command, I heard in leadership roles. You have command in the leadership roles. that Adonai is calling you to. So don't get beside yourself. I'm talking to me too. We cannot get beside ourselves. We cannot forget about him. We're not going to do like Satan did. Try to get glory and not, no. No. Sorry, I'm hearing something. I'm trying to make sure if he's wanting me to say this to y'all or not. I'm going to go on. So I was seeing the time 422, and I would see the number just 422. And I had it written at the top of this page. And I'm like, let me go and see what this means. So I looked it up in Strong's Concordance. We do not look up angel numbers. We do not look up angel numbers. We look up Strong's Concordance, or it can be in reference to a Bible scripture as well. So in the Greek, Strong's Concordance, 422 means not to be put to shame. You will not be put to shame. What he says, he delivers on. So when he tells you to get up, uproot and move, quit your job, get up and move to that other state, to get up and leave that marriage, that relationship, that friendship, that whatever, and people looking like you just doing this abruptly like this, like it don't even make sense. Like, watch, don't worry, she gonna come back. She ain't nobody gonna treat her like I treat her. Or guys, you leave that chick and she like, oh well you ain't nothing anyways, and you ain't gonna find a female like me, and whatever. And they don't understand, or leaving that job like she gonna be back, she gonna need this job again, or he gonna be back because he can't leave. She gonna be. You will not be put to shame. You will not be put to shame. It says not ashamed, because having discharged needed responsibility. You will not be put to shame as you go into these high places, into these royal positions. You will not be put to shame whenever you discharge the needed responsibility. There's a responsibility that are in so many of these places that is not being taken care of in the way that Adonai has called them to be taken care of. And so, oh my gosh, excuse me. You know what I'm finna say though. Real and raw. Real and raw. Like, I'm not editing this. First of all, I don't know how to edit it. But either way, real and raw. Okay? Real and raw. You are my sister. You are my brother. Okay? All right. Love you. So, you will be discharging the needed responsibility, which appropriately accomplishes what Adonai assigns. Which appropriately accomplishes what Adonai assigns. He has called people to these royal positions. We're talking about some big name pastors. Big name pastors. People sitting high in the government in this earth. People with some names that we are seeing and hearing. We didn't watch them and all that stuff. And he's saying, guess what? And I just heard dismantling. Dismantling. That mantle that they were sitting up under, he's taking it from them. Because they did not appropriately accomplish what Adonai had assigned them to. But guess what? You are. So congratulations to you. You have a new royal position. Oh. And for some of you, you have multiple royal positions that Adonai is saying it is time for you to go and I'm hearing dispossess the land. It's time for you to go and dispossess the land. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? It's time for you to go and dispossess the land. It's time for you to go and take your rightful royal positions. So again, take this word back to Adonai. Take it back to him. Sit at his feet. Oh yeah, and shout. And shout. Because once you shout, the walls have come down. The walls have come down. And anybody that's in that place is done. So it don't matter how they try to lock themselves into that position. Doesn't matter who they paying off. You can't pay off Adonai. He can't be bought. He can't be bought. It's time. It's your time. So again, congratulations. Congratulations. So that is it. That is it. I thank each and every single one of you who tuned in, who will tune in, whether it is as soon as this video is released, or maybe it'll be 6 months from now, 6 years from now. Either way, the word will still be the word, because Adonai watches over his word to make sure that it does not return to him void, but instead that it accomplishes everything that he sends it forth to do. Period. So now, remember that you have power. You have power. You are power. You are a powerhouse. Not because of you and who you are, but because of the one who is at work within you, the Ruach HaKodesh. I want you to remember that you have light. You are the light, right? Because the light is in you. You are the light. Well, he's the light, but you know what I mean. You have power, right? So I want you to go out and light up the world and everything that is in your path, that is in your path. You are royalty. You are a king. You are a queen. I want you to walk like it. Ooh. Sorry, I thought something was crawling on my leg. You are a king. You are a queen. I want you to walk like it, talk like it, think like it, boss up like it, get up and shout like it, get up and go and take your royal positions like it. Do you hear me? Because it is your time. It is the kingdom's time. I love you, and I will be back with another word whenever Adonai releases me to. I'll see you next time. Oh, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe.